Hypothetically, you are given a one-day, one-park ticket to the Universal Orlando Resort. Which theme park should you choose? Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios? Hey Pugh crew, welcome back.
If you're new here, on this channel we talk about all things theme parks, including updates, news, and even tips and tricks for your next theme park vacation.
So the other day we were at a friend's house and they asked us a pretty thought-provoking question. They asked if we only had one day and we could only choose one park, Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios, which one would we visit? So in today's video, we are going to talk a little bit about each park, compare certain aspects of them, and then at the end of the video, tell you what each of us would do if we only had one day.
Universal Studios was the original theme park, and when it opened in 1990, all of the rides and attractions were themed around famous movies or TV shows. The original tagline was that it allowed guests to ride the movies with attractions like E.T., Jaws, Back to the Future, and more. The first park was so successful that Universal started planning its first expansion just 4 years later. Islands of Adventure opened to the public in 1999 and consisted of 6 islands that were themed around several forms of pop culture like Seuss Landing and Marvel Island. This park was not limited to movies and TV shows like its original counterpart. Since its opening, all of the rides and attractions in Universal Studios have been replaced except for E.T. Adventure.
Some of them have been a little bit more successfully replaced than others.
The park is currently home to attractions such as Men in Black, Alien Attack, The Revenge of the Mummy, and The Bourne Stuntacular. Studios has also adopted Island's use of themed lands to bring you fan favorites like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley and The Simpsons Springfield.
These immersive areas are more than just themed rides. Everything from the shops all the way down to the bathrooms are extremely themed, making you feel like you have just jumped into your favorite series.
Islands of Adventure has also seen its fair share of updates and replacements. Most notably is the addition of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This park is still home to its 6 original lands, which are the Port of Entry, Lost Continent, Seuss Landing, Jurassic Park, Marvel Island, and Toon Lagoon. When the Wizarding World opened in 2010, the land was stolen from the Lost Continent to make room for the 7th land. In 2016, Skull Island was added between Toon Lagoon and Jurassic Park, making the home of King Kong the 8th island.
Sort of.
Several of the lands, like Seuss Landing and Marvel Island, have also seen upgrades and refurbishments over the years. Since its opening, Islands of Adventure has been considered the more intense park of the two. In fact, when it opened in 1999, this park failed to bring in crowds like everyone expected, and this was blamed on the lack of kid-friendly attractions. When the park first opened, it was home to rides such as the Incredible Hulk coaster, Dueling Dragons, and Dr. Doom's Fearfall, 2 of which still stand today. The park has continued this trend with its 2 latest editions of Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure and the Velocicoaster. While Universal Studios does have a few thrill rides that won't disappoint, like Revenge of the Mummy and the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, this park, in its current state, takes full advantage of modern 3D technology.
8 of the 15 rides in this park incorporate some sort of 3D aspect, including the 3 newest rides, which are Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, Fast and Furious Supercharged, and the Bourne Stuntacular.
The majority of the rides in Universal Studios are indoor dark rides. There are 15 attractions in this park, and of those, 12 of them are inside. For comparison, Islands of Adventure has 19 rides and attractions, and only 5 of them are indoors. So if you're looking to stay inside out of the sun and the heat, Universal Studios does have a few more options for you.
If it's a water ride that you're looking for to cool you down, you are going to have to make your way over to Islands of Adventure, which is home to 3 of these attractions. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls, Papa's and Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges, and the Jurassic Park River Adventure. Any of these attractions is guaranteed to get you wet and do the trick.
Islands of Adventure has branded itself as the more thrilling park, but don't let that fool you. This park is home to several kid-friendly attractions like Cat in the Hat, One Fish, Two Fish, Stormforce Accelatron, and Flight of the Hippogriff. This park is also home to the only kids-only attraction, which is the Pteranodon Flyers in Jurassic Park. To ride this attraction, you do have to have a child between the height of 36 and 56 inches.
And no matter how much you try to beg or act like you are a child, between those heights, they aren't going to let you ride it. Trust me.
Universal Studios has several rides that are aimed at children, but there are only 3 rides in this park that really have any thrill factor at all, and those are Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, Revenge of the Mummy, and the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Of these, the Rip Ride Rocket is by far the most thrilling. Aside from those 3 attractions, all of the rides in the parks are very approachable for adults or children who aren't big on roller coasters.
Or who just don't like them. Which brings us back to the original question. Which park would we choose?
I'll go first, and this is such a difficult question to answer, but I think my answer would be Universal Studios, and there's a couple reasons that I'm going to say this. The first one is that my favorite area in either of the parks has to be Diagon Alley. Yeah. It's so immersive and incredible, and I just don't think that I could miss seeing that. And then some of our favorite rides, such as Men in Black, are in this park. And also, you do still get the thrill factor with the Rip Ride Rocket and the Mummy. Even though they're not as thrilling as some of the roller coasters in Islands of Adventure, you do still have enough of that thrill factor. Also, if I was giving advice to someone that asked me this question and had never been to either of the parks, I think I would answer Universal Studios because it's just kind of the classic park and it has a really good mix of attractions.
There are a few points right there that I 100% agree with. Men in Black is a ride that we probably ride more than any other attraction in the parks.
Yeah.
E.T.'s fantastic, and Diagon Alley is 100% one of our favorite places in the world to be. With that being said, I think personally I would choose and I would suggest Islands of Adventure, and there's a few reasons why as well. The first and main one being Hagrid's. I don't think I could pass up on potentially the best ride in Florida and what we think might be the best attraction that we've ever been on. Mm-hmm. Velocicoaster is probably the greatest or one of the greatest roller coasters in all of Florida.
Yeah.
And then you have Hogwarts Castle. I just don't think that combination of things is something that I'm willing to pass up on. Couple that with what I think is the superior food options over in Islands Adventure. I mean, green eggs and ham's great. A Wimpy's burger. You've got so many. Mythos is a great restaurant. You've got so many good options over there. I personally just would always choose to go to Islands of Adventure if I only had one day. With us having a split decision, it kind of maybe leaves you in a spot where you're like, well, I don't have an answer. And I think that's why we talked a little bit about the different aspects of each park, because really it is up to you, and it is going to be a decision that you might eventually have to make. If you are somebody who loves the big rides, the thrills, you're gonna want to go to Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
That's the spot. But if you're somebody who wants a more classic and a more calm type of day, you're going to go to Universal Studios. Universal Studios is a fantastic park, and it is honestly our favorite place to go and just people watch. We love being in Universal Studios, watching the crowds move around, and we just love how it's themed in every different location. Couple that theming with what seems to feel like, I don't know, it's a more enjoyable park to walk around because I guess because it's open and you can see everything from everywhere.
Well, and it's also kind of flat.
Yeah, it just seems like a place that you can go and have a very relaxed day. And we think it is probably more for families in that aspect. That being said, we spend probably an equal amount of time in both. When we're down there, we don't necessarily have a park that we stay in more than the other one.
Right.
It'll basically just depend on wait times. That's what dictates how long we're in each park. Alright guys, that wraps up today's video. Leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
If you enjoyed this video,
Chuck
give
Yeager.
us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Thanks for watching. Probably Paris.